Pennsylvania is a state that's rich in railroad history and natural beauty. When one examines the sheer variety of railroads that once inhabited the Keystone State, and the vibrant characteristics and stories that each one tells, it's no surprise that Pennsylvania is widely known for its incredible contributions toward railroad preservation in America. Today, one can find an extensive range of steam locomotives in operation all throughout the state, some of which are natives to the rails they serve, and help to shape the identity of the regions in the glory days of steam. From tiny coal mining Lokis, to robust narrow-gauge Mikados, to one of the most powerful and well-known steam giants in the nation. One such place where one can experience a notable chapter in Pennsylvania's railroad history is the Everett Railroad. Located in Hollidaysburg near the famed railroad city of Altoona, the Everett is not a relic of the coal mining days, nor is it a place to see big steam speeding down a double-track main, but rather, it's a typical branch line operation, passing by historic structures and traveling through peaceful and scenic countryside. The railroad has all the hallmarks of small-town, shortline railroading, bringing one back to a simpler, often overlooked period in American history. We made a pair of visits to the Everett Railroad in the spring of 2024 and followed the railroad's 260 Mogul number 11 on a pair of steam excursions that covered nearly all of the railroad's trackage, providing us a chance to offer a glimpse at much of what the railroad bestows along its routes. Let's take a tour of this lively short line in a springtime system tour. It's a beautiful spring day at Hollidaysburg, and number 11 simmers quietly at the depot, preparing for another day of hauling tourists and rail fans alike on the branch lines of the old Pennsy. Number 11 was built by Alco's Cook Works in 1920 and was originally set for export to Cuba, where she would be used to haul sugarcane. But with fluctuations in world sugarcane markets decreasing after World War I, the order was canceled, and number 11 would soon find a home at several different operations around the Northeast over the next several decades. The most notable of these was the Bath and Hammondsport Railroad in southern New York, otherwise known as the Champagne Trail, since it served many of the wine producers in the region. She was finally acquired by the Everett Railroad in 2006, and after a nearly decades-long restoration, number 11 returned to steam in the fall of 2015 for the first time in over 40 years, and since has become the primary excursion power for the railroad. In 2022, number 11 was converted from coal to oil, marking a new chapter in her history. Before we leave Hollidaysburg, let's take a look at the route in which we'll be traversing. The Everett operates on former Pennsylvania Railroad trackage, over two branch lines that split from each other at Brooks Mills, located a few miles south of Hollidaysburg. In March of 2024, we'll see scenes from the railroad's opening day excursions, which includes the Steam into the Cove excursion that traverses the entirety of the former Pensy's Cove branch through Roaring Spring to Martinsburg. We'll also follow a rare mileage excursion that took place a month later, that ran down the Old Bedford branch to Sproul, the first time a steam-powered passenger train had traversed this route under Everett's ownership. Shortly after leaving Hollidaysburg, we see the train crossing over the Juniata River on a bridge before crossing River Road. Brooks Mills, the train enters the Morrison's Cove branch and begins to head for Roaring Spring. Roaring Spring is a quaint and historic town with lovely brick buildings, and home to the 1894 Pennsylvania Railroad Depot, one of the oldest in the state. Beyond Roaring Spring, number 11 fights up a short grade as she continues southward. Morrison's Cove is a beautiful area, filled with fertile farmlands and rolling hills, with the Pennsylvania mountains securing its borders. After turning on the Y at Martinsburg, number 11 begins her return trip north. Now on the Bedford branch, number 11 leads her train south, rounding the curve at East Freedom. After cutting number 11 off the train at the steam shops in Claysburg, former Lehigh Valley SW900M number 126 is seen leading the train back to Hollidaysburg. Our journey comes to a close as we arrive back in Hollidaysburg. We'll close our coverage as we see number 11 running light on her way back to the shops in Claysburg.